some moves, make some things happen and win. They acquired Chad Brown and another corner, Willie Williams, and now Walter Jones and I. So I think we're going to be all right, and I'll fit in all right.
What about your dad, your influence, his influence that he's had on you, and just getting to this level throughout your entire life of chasing this dream?
Well, it helps having a father playing in a professional football league because he can tell you the ins and outs of pro football. Even though I have to go through my own experience, he just tells me some small things that'll help.
The big thing, everybody knows you have the size, the speed, the quickness, even the savvy to play man-to-man. The question that some people have, will you come up and make the big hit?
Oh, most definitely. You wouldn't be able to play at Ohio State if you couldn't make the big hit.
And in closing, what is it with Ohio State? In the last 4 or 5 years, you guys have done a great job in just producing tremendous athletes in the first round.
Well, I think the coaches at Ohio State do a great job recruiting athletes, and we have a great strength coach. Coach Dave Kennedy does an excellent job with all athletes that come through there.
Good luck to you. I know you got a flight coming up.
Okay, a long one.
Back to you, Chris.
All right, Kirk, thank you. Wait, you want to interview a Buckeye? Get a Buckeye. Kirk Herbstreit. A little more on Springs in just a minute, but the pick is in from the Eagles. Let's go to the podium.
With the 25th pick in the first round, the Philadelphia Eagles select John Harris, defensive end from the University of Virginia.
Well, there's a name that maybe
the San Francisco 49ers are now on the
not
clock.
have in the first round. First, let me clean up one thing about Springs. Now, he did not obviously defend against him in practice this last year, but Joey Galloway, Terry Glenn, Chris Sanders, you go against those guys every day in practice, that's going to make you a good player. That's Springs with Seattle. John Harris.
Hello.
Good program, Virginia. Linebackers we knew about. Sharper's still sitting there.
Well, he was a player on the rise. I was told yesterday that John Harris may be a second-round possibility for the New Orleans Saints. So he had moved up. But in the first round, I think, Marcel, if you're going to go for a defensive end type, Wiley from Columbia gives you a great upside. Harris has good athletic ability, but he wasn't the consistent player yet. He's a guy that needs to develop. He's still a guy who's a workout warrior type, good computer numbers, but he wasn't the kind of player at Virginia that he should have been considering the physical ability he possesses, Joe.
And I think what happens now, though, Mel, is you get with Ray Rhodes in that program, you either get on board with Ray Rhodes or he beats you on board. I mean, this is a guy who's going to drive you. Emmett Thomas will put in the defense that's necessary for them to go out and make plays. They needed the help up front. I think that Ray Rhodes is the kind of guy who can take someone who may not have been as motivated in college and get him pointed in the right direction and get the production out of him that he feels like he needs to make his ball club better.
6'7½". Usually you figure you'd talk about the basketball at Virginia with guys that size. Let's go quickly to Sal Paolantonio, who's at the Jets headquarters. But Philadelphia, this surprised you?
I think it surprised a lot of people in Philadelphia because his name has not come up anywhere. The Eagles was one of the best kept secrets in the city of brotherly love, definitely. I talked to Ray Rhodes just a few seconds before he handed in the pick. He said they really liked John Harris. They liked his size. They had problems stopping the run on both the end spots. And now, of course, with William Fuller gone, they need somebody who's real big, who can rush the passer and stop the run. They said defensive line coach Mike Turgovic really liked this guy. So that's their pick. It'll be a surprise to a lot of people, Boomer.
All right, certainly, Sal. And let's go up to Tom Jackson. And I know you studied all the defensive players on the film, Tom. Is this a name you expected to hear in the first round? Now, wait a minute, you're sitting now. What happened? Is it that long a day?
Well, I think that's certainly one of the things that you look at is some guys reaching at a certain position. And I think certainly when you look at John Harris, he's a quality ball player. But if you were looking for a defensive end, I don't think there's another guy that matches up right now to Trevor Pryce on the board. Trevor Pryce is another high-octane guy. He's from Clemson, weighs in the 280 range, has great quicks at the line of scrimmage. I guess the one negative to his play is that he tends to play a little bit high, stand straight up as soon as the ball is snapped, but has great athleticism. You could teach the techniques to him. I just think that this is a big reach in getting John Harris right now in this draft.
Well, it sat you down, so obviously it must be a big reach. Well,
knocked him off his
the
feet.
San Francisco 49ers are next on the clock, and we may see a quarterback go in the first round. And if it is, guy that played not far from where John Harris, Virginia Tech, Jim Druckenmiller. That's my guess. We'll be back.
Well, I'm positive you're going to love their prices.
We're positive.
If you're looking
looking for the best-selling car in America at an unbeatable price, come to Sanderson Ford, where right now you can buy a new 97 Taurus with V6, air conditioning, automatic, and much more for just $15,995. Plus, you'll shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense.
You're gonna love it at Sanderson Ford. We're positive.
6400 North 51st Avenue.
Can you spot the difference between these two transmission problems? Don't watch, just listen. Bet you can't tell the simple problem from the one that's a real handful. That's why at AMCO Centers, expert technicians use state-of-the-art diagnostic tools. Fact is, half the cars serviced at AMCO Centers don't need a new transmission. Come to AMCO. We can open your eyes. AMCO, AA MCO.
Martinsville, where Dale Jarrett goes bumper to bumper with the hard-driving Levante brothers. Strap yourself in with ESPN's NASCAR Ride-Along program. Goodies Headache Powders 500, tomorrow at 1 on ESPN.
Unleash the beast. Unleash the beast. Unleash the beast. Milwaukee's best.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
I'm a soft-spoken kind of guy. There's nothing more important to me than a quiet chat with my son, Shaquille. I just marched to the phone and dialed 1-800-COLLECT. The money I saved him, he can use to buy some new backboards. Take it through the hole, Shaquille. He's gonna and they wonder where he gets it from.
1-800-COLLECT. Save the people you call up to 44%.
All right, welcome back to the 62nd NFL Draft here at the Theater in New York. 49ers are on the clock. They have about 9 minutes to go, but Andrea Kramer's in Tampa. Let's go down and check in for the latest from her. Andrea.
Well, Chris, I just talked to the Niners just a short time ago, and they said that they plan to go with the player who is they've been focused on all along, quarterback Jim Druckenmiller from Virginia Tech. Now, when I spoke to Steve Mariucci a couple of days ago, he admitted that he had some mixed emotions about his own quarterback, Pat Barnes. But he said that Druckenmiller was clearly the highest-rated quarterback that they had, and that would be the guy that they would go with if he was available. The Niners just confirmed that a short time ago. They also told me, though, that they would have tried to move up to Miami's pick at 15 to take Tony Gonzalez, but that Gonzalez had already gone to Kansas City at 13. Now, there's been a couple of questions about Druckenmiller, the fact that he's worked primarily out of the shotgun, and his age. He will be a 25-year-old rookie. I asked Steve Mariucci about these things. He said, as for working in the shotgun, he'll be okay under center, and even talked about how big his hands are, and the fact that he didn't think it would be a tough decision for him. Okay, Chris, let's head back to you in New York right now.
All right, Andrew. Well, certainly they confirmed it a while ago that it would be Druckenmiller, and they're just happy they didn't have to make a move up. They stand put, and they get the player that they like. And at the Senior Bowl, I guess after about the third day working behind center, not the shotgun, everybody there was happy with the way that he worked. Now, Druckenmiller, Jake Plummer, who was one of our favorite players in the draft, Arizona State, Pat Barnes and Mariucci, coach to California. Probably the only three quarterbacks we will hear from here on day one in the first 3 rounds. Break them down. How would you go?
Well, I think, first of all, you take a look at Jim Druckenmiller. I mean, the completions at 54% is a little bit lower than you'd like, but the touchdowns to interception ratio, I think, is very good, 34-18. He did play in 5 different systems there. You like his versatility, and if the kid played in 5 different systems, he obviously is in a situation where he can adjust, so that's very good. Jake Plummer's just a natural playmaker. A lot of people have compared him to Joe Montana coming out of school. I particularly agree with that. Has great natural athletic ability, and Pat Barnes has a screw in his wrist still. They don't think it's going to be a problem, but was very productive under Steve Mariucci in California. I did have a chance to talk to Steve Mariucci. He liked all 3 of them. He likes Pat Barnes. He feels for sure that this kid can play at this level. I think the only thing about Jake Plummer is that he looks a little bit skittish in the pocket, focuses on one receiver, and bails out. The guy that everybody liked was Druckenmiller. But you know what you get in these 3 guys is you get whatever you want across the table. You got the big, strong guy in the middle. Everybody thought, gosh, how could Druckenmiller wind up in San Francisco? Well, Elvis Gerbeck was out of Michigan. He fits the same kind of a mold. Big guy in the pocket. You got Jake running around all over the place, not too bad a fit either. And Pat Barnes, the guy in the middle who is mobile but yet can stay in the pocket. All of them, I think, have the ability to play in this league, and I'm not surprised that a quarterback will go here. I'm just disappointed it's probably going to cost me dinner.
Well, but we could